week. And I want to jump in on that conversation with you on the other side of the radio. And then by 5, right, we'll look at the local government election here in Rivers State. RISEC making moves. We've seen, certain people saying, oh, it's not good enough. They don't want it to be done under the sole administratorship. And we've been talking about that for a long time, right? And this is the juncture we are at the moment. And then 6 o'clock will be time for the major news, and after that, open season if time allows for it. But remember, at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, the business update. At the top of the 5 o'clock hour, the news update, and that will be the size of the package for today. 17 minutes gone past 3. Enough of dilly-dallying. Remember, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're active on X. Now, to my first big story for today. An interesting conversation happened this morning. There's one thing I like about Nigeria Info, and by the way, today is my last day on Hard Facts. Sam Mora Chinedu returns tomorrow. A part of me is happy, a part of me is sad because I have to say goodbye to you. But yeah, I was trying to tell you that one of the things I like about Nigeria Info is that I've got great colleagues who put in the work to bring about solid conversations, wonderful conversations that, not just the listener enjoys, but colleagues, amongst ourselves, we also enjoy those conversations. Now, I did not listen to the Morning Crossfire this morning, but I've seen the news, and a part of the news this afternoon reflected the conversation that happened this morning. The PFN, that's the the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, vows to guide members on 2027 Rivers governorship choice. And it got me thinking, on a normal day, I probably would skip that headline, but an interesting conversation it was. Okay, I'm going to read from the bulletin now. The Rivers State Chairman of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Minaebi Dagogo says the church is worried about the kind of political leaders that are chosen during elections. Speaking in FM's Morning Fire, he said the church has the power to make a big difference in Nigeria's elections. He also said that if all Pentecostal Christians work together, underline that now, they can help choose the president of the country and the governor of Rivers State. Dagogo Jack also criticized politicians for coming to church to ask for support during elections, but forgetting the people once they win.
We are concerned about what is really happening in Rivers State. So what do you do to people? Morally and people know this politician is because a recent survey to all Pentecostals costs something million people. If it will take 2.something million people to elect a president, half of what the Pentecostals are in Nigeria can decide more that in Rivers State, if 130-something thousand can make a governor, 7 churches alone can produce that number of votes.
Now, the PFN state chairman said Rivers State urgently needs good leadership and clear direction. He said the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria will guide their members on who they believe should lead the state in the 2027 elections. I need you to underline that part, guide their members. But let's take a listen to what he said on that show.
If they make any budget, it covers us as even church people. The Constitution of Nigeria has not stopped the church members to go and vote or to decide who to lead them. The level of suffering in Rivers State is so much. I don't want to talk of Nigeria. It's very obvious about Nigeria. Is voting a sin? No. Mobilizing your people to go and vote, is it against the church or is it against the Constitution? No. Asking your people to go and get voters registered to go and vote, is it a sin? No. We shall direct the church members this time around. Rivers State is enslaved. Rivers State is in their need of direction and leadership.
So you heard it for yourself. It's not something that is a figment of my imagination or I brought out of thin air. You heard it for yourself, and that's the chairman of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria in Rivers State, saying, hey, they will guide their members. So I've got questions, and I want to share them with you. Number one, first of all, do you think it's the right move, for the church to be heavily involved in the politics in 2027. Now, you've seen how the politics is, especially in Rivers State. You've seen all the, like we say in a parlance, gra-gra. You've seen the back and the forth. You've seen the mudslinging, the insults hurling, the death or the death throwing and all of that stuff. You've seen how it is. And now just say, hey, church, let's get into this. Do you think it's time for religion to take part in politics? If you do some historical research, you will realize that leadership in itself, at some point, was religious in nature. It was. I mean, look at Italy, look at the UK. It was religious in nature to a large extent. Government was run by one religious arm, depending on what side of the world they positioned or were positioned. The religion seemed to run the government until government was separated from religion. But do you think maybe we should adopt religion as part of our government, and maybe morality and all the likes should now be imbued in our leadership, as we so desire? But secondly, do you think it is possible, for maybe I'm talking to Christians now because it was from the PFN. Do you think it's possible for Christians to be of one mind when it comes to who should be leader? And it then begs the question, the teaching church, one spirit, how come, the churches are divided as to who to support? And it brings about the quality of teachings and the level of spirituality in our churches. And it's something I think we should also delve into. And that's why I said that was such an interesting conversation they had in the morning. I wish I had listened and I had jumped on it. I would have even contributed to Divide. No. But now let's take a look at the second big story. Interesting second big story as well. The House of Representatives is proposing, and by the way, these guys have been really active, right? I think we spoke about two of their bills last week. One has to do with, what was it again? I can't remember. We talked about it. The guy from Abia State. It just skipped my head. But anyways, these guys have been very active. Oh yeah, the one about people who are public servants should not use private hospitals or private schools. They and their family members, right? And now they are here again, and they're saying, hey, let's have election done in one day. All 5 elections. Okay, there's the 6th one. 5 of the 6 elections should be done in one day. Presidential, governorship, and all legislative, Anyways, they say that the elections, the governorship, the presidential, the senatorial, House of Reps, and the state houses of assembly elections should be done in one day. And I'm wondering, I don't know, will that work? Do we have the capacity to do that? Last time Beavers crashed, glitches here, glitches there. Do we have? About 2 years to the elections, can we ready ourselves for such? If that is done, if that's put into law, I can see the one big advantage, which is it may help reduce rigging, because everybody is going to be concerned. The governors will be concerned about their re-election, and maybe it will reduce rigging, because everybody, usually one side focuses on the other. Like, for instance, those at the state level will help the ones at the national win the elections. And when the ones at the nationals are done, they come to the state levels and, they try to help the ones at the state level win. If it is done at one go, everybody will be bothered, concerned, focused on, winning their own election. And they may not be that pool of politicians who usually, come together. I know our politicians, they always find a way around it, right? But hey, what do you make of this? A proposed single day for the conduct of the 5 elections in 2027. Now, if the proposal is upheld, the reviewed Electoral Act will empower the Independent National Electoral Commission to simultaneously conduct the presidential, senatorial, House of Representatives, governorship, assembly polls in one day. Now, other amendments being proposed by the House payment team, registering parties, restriction presidential election expenses to 10 billion naira, conduct of elections 120 days before the expiration of the incumbent term, and determination of elections petitions within 90 days after the exercise. Now, I do have a problem with that, because gathering of evidence may be affected, when you talk about 90 days after election. I get it. We want the tribunal to, prolong for too long, to prolong or to run for too long. And we don't want the person who eventually wins that election to get into office and determine how the judicial process goes. That's one complaint that was one too many during the 2023 electioneering cycle. However, I still have a problem with 90 days after the exercise because, you may not be able to gather enough evidence, and evidence is what wins in court. What do you call it now? Beyond reasonable doubt evidence. Yeah, kind of evidence. Now, the House also took steps to end series of by-elections arising from resignation and death of elected members of the State and National Assembly, proposing that parties who sponsored the lawmaker who died or resigned be made to produce his replacement. I mean, that will solve the problem of defection, right? Will it? I don't know. But you get the point. The Electoral Bill 2025, titled "A Bill for an Act to Repeal the Electoral Act Number 13, 2022, and to enact the Electoral Act 2025 to regulate the conduct of federal and councils and the federal capital 2004." Later, as past its reading in the House. What do you make of that? You like this bill? And the House reps seemingly have been talking about wonderful national discourse. I don't think we should give up to that, even if we feel some of these bills may not just make it to fruition. But now let's look at the third and final. And before I even talk about congratulations to the Super 10th win as African champions, not feet and all women. Rachel, I said the show. I should have said at the very beginning, but I was in a hurry to get my big stars out and ready. But yeah, congratulations to all the women as represented by the Super Falcons. Wonderful match against the Moroccan wonderful match. But now, my third big story. Dangote says President Tinubu a listen president. His policies a big revival. It's revived private sector, he says. By the way, it's the border hour. I'm supposed to open the flight at this point. Can't help but bring about story. I want to bring your interest in it, I think. And as seen on one of the websites, news websites here in Nigeria, Tinubu, a listening president, policies reviving private sector Dangote. Now, the founder of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has hailed President Bola Tinubu as a listening president whose policies are restoring investor confidence in Nigeria's economy. Dangote made the remarks over the weekend during a visit by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, to the $20 billion Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals and Dangote Fertilizer Limited in Ibeju, Lekki, Lagos. Now, commending President Tinubu's efforts to address crude supply challenges to domestic refineries, Dangote praised the Naira for Crude initiative and the Nigeria First policy as bold and transformative steps capable of revitalizing the economy. So, the reason why I chose this as one of the big stories, one of the three big stories for today, is because, a lot of us, last week we spoke about statistics, data. I think last week Monday and Friday of upper week, we spoke about data and statistics, how the GDP grew by 3.13% and inflation dropped, and we talked about all of these being indicative that the economy is growing, that things are getting better, like we sing in church, things are getting better. Oh my. And it seems like the man on the throne is making things better, according to Dangote. But a lot of callers usually, even on the show last week, said, hey, these statistics are not reflective. We can feel them. Why can't we feel them? What's the reason? Because Dangote was one of the richest men in Africa, if not the richest man in Africa, has come out to say, hey, I can feel it. It is a revival. It's transformative. It's taking us in the right direction. This is the savior that these are my words, but that's how I understand it, right? So what do you make of that? That's the question. What do you make of it? What do you make of what Dangote is saying? And it looks like it is basically you who complains about his policies. Maybe you just want things cheap and you want things free, and that's why you calculate and comment in the way you do. But Dangote said, hey, the economy is great, the economy is moving in the right direction, and his comments are in tandem with the data we reeled out last week. But do you agree? Do you agree? I'm going to leave that for you to answer. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. These are the call numbers. You can call and let's talk on the show this afternoon. WhatsApp number 0809 0306 0809 says, I wasn't expecting you on air today. Hard facts. Yeah, apologies if I shocked you or surprised you. Apologies for that. But don't worry, Sam comes back tomorrow. God willing. As long as there's life, there will be Sam on the show tomorrow. Just as good afternoon, Mr. Canada. The reason it will be difficult for the church to guide their members in making choices of who they will vote for is the church is made up of different individuals that come from different ethnic groups and different political parties, which they might be sympathetic to. You can advise to convince someone who has interest in his brother who is on the ballot to vote for another person that comes from another ethnic group. Honestly, it will be difficult no matter how you try to guide them because of the type of society we live in, from Okoro Hyacinth. But have you thought about the fact that, the church preaches that God's say is the final say, not your brothers, not your fathers. So, I mean, if God says you should go that direction, shouldn't you? Wala from Oyigbo. Wala, good afternoon. Welcome on the show. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wala. Welcome. Let's talk, please.
Let me react to the first big story.
All right, let's hear your thoughts.
If there seems to be a level playground during election, will it be so wrong if some people that are highly religious to come out to contest? The reason why that they are not going to come out to contest has been that there has never been any level playground, in the sense that electoral laws have been violated, and the people that violate electoral laws will not be held accountable. The last election that was conducted, that is 2023 election, you saw what happened. Even people that were caught red-handed when the letter were investigation upon.
There were investigations. The matters went to court, so you can't say there were no investigations. They were arrested and the matters went to court. The ones who were caught red-handed, like you said.
We are aware of that, but the issue is that we need to reform in our electoral laws.
All right.
And moreover, it's not all about coming out to vote. You understand? How effective our vote count. That has been the problem. So I want the House of both Senate and the representatives to propose a bill that will reform our election, not all of these things that they are doing.
All right, then.
We need good electoral laws. We need it to be effective so that when we vote, our vote will count. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, JJ from Rumigbo. JJ, greetings. Welcome. What's on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
I greet you, Canada.
I greet you as well.
Let's start from the PFN. I listened to him this morning, and I tell you, it will not work.
Okay.
Remember how boring it was in 2015, Jonathan versus Buhari, where churches were making a lot of, what I call it, prophecy, and you remember the rest of the story. So this time around, I don't think I will sit in that organization. Somebody will want to tell me who to vote. What is your conviction? Your conviction may be different from mine. If you don't take time, you may end up even scattering your shepherd, a bishop or shepherd, I don't know how they call it. So for me, I think it will be a very tall order and may lead to disintegration of the house. That said, I think I want to go with Dangote this afternoon. You know, why I'm saying this is, you say something?
No, I'm listening to you. I want you to round off quickly.
I want to go with Dangote. Remember the problem between Donald Trump and, what's this guy's name?
Elon Musk, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is Trump policy. You know, Elon Musk is one of those big wigs that sponsors finance Trump at the end of the day. What's causing the problem was that some policies that Trump brought in is making most companies, the shares to go down, and the man is losing by the second. So if Dangote is telling you that we are smiling to the bank as a result of the policy of this government, then nobody, I don't think there's anybody right now that can challenge, because they are the first liner, they are the first people, Dangote and his group are the first people that the government policy is bad. We eat so bad. You know that government can just bring in one policy And you will hear that Dangote has lost over $10 billion overnight in less than 24 hours. Have you not seen such before? So if such person that have the authority, that have the temerity, that have the business acumen to tell you that this is what's happening, I don't think there's anybody right now that will come and tell you otherwise.
All right.
Before it will trickle down, it will take some time. After they have survived, then they begin to bring it down at the end of the day. Question, please.
No question. Thank you very much. I've got to go, JJ. Lawson from Yanigua. Oh, wow. Lawson, sorry to call back if you can. But this one says the Pentecostal political strategy of strongly influencing elections is an exploitation of people's faith. It is wrong for religious leaders to dictate who their members should vote for, as this strips citizens of their power. Nigerians should be allowed to make their own informed decisions at the polls without being told what to do. Religion has already taken too much from us. Let's keep politics and faith separate. Enough of its exploitation. It is a definite no for me, Medic from Transformatic. Medic, I don't know what religion you belong to, but I as a Christian, when I read the Bible, I mean, from the days of old, God chose leaders, right? So don't you think, I mean, if we had to go separate ways, we probably would not be able to come to an agreement of who's supposed to be our leader. This is why it looks like Tinubu is not working is because the closest government to the people are not working. State governors are getting triple of the allocation under this government. Are they tripling their projects? Local government are not functioning well. How will people feel the direct impact of governance? In 1999 till 2007, local government were doing projects that state governments are now doing and celebrating. People were seeing the works of government, not everyone concentrating on Tinubu and the federal government. We need to ask our governors questions, how our monies are being spent, especially now that they are receiving triple allocations. Kolade from Choba. Kolade, while your argument may have weight and hold water, I want you to put into consideration or cognizance that while allocation may have tripled, inflation may have also tripled. I'm just saying. I mean, no fight intended. I'm just saying. But since it's dead on arrival, the church itself has already lost its primary focus. Expect more division when the church decides to take part in choosing our leaders. My reason is simple. Most pastors will be compromised because of money. Take a look at the recent happening in the abuse of the pulpits. Comrade Wekere. Wekere, thank you. It says no to it. But it just says, good afternoon, KDB. Please, why is Dangote singing praises of Mr. President? Is it because of his plans with the president to stop the importation of fuel so he can finally take over the market? Nigeria, we continue, you say. This one says, Igwe John Pius Igwe, Ebonyi State. As for me, he said those should go and mind their business. They don't have power to control people's choices. It's not Pentecostal Fellowship now. Let's correct that. But he said they should mind their business. They don't have the power to control people's choices in as much that Nigeria political system is built on sharing blood or shedding blood, I think he meant to say, both in preparing themselves fetishly and running election. And thank God for Super Falcons. Please let them not shake hands with... I'm going to skip that one. Thank you nonetheless. This says, good day, Mr. Kibat. But Dangote praises President Bola Tinubu that he's a listening president. This is quite unfortunate, if I'm not correct, because majority of Nigerians cannot feed two square meals in a day. President Bola Tinubu economic policies are not good for Nigerians. There is poverty and hunger in the land. I want to take Clinton West with that one. Thank you nonetheless. Keep those calls coming in. I've got a few more minutes to round off the big story. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. That WhatsApp number 0809 0306 What is on your mind? I would love to hear from you. What are you thinking? First big story, PFN is looking at becoming politically involved come 2027. Just like the politicians are getting ready and they're strategizing, the PFN is also looking at strategizing and ensuring that, they've got a role to play who becomes president or who becomes governor in 2027. There's also to talk about the House of Reps looking at making sure that all elections or all 5 elections, state and local and federal government elections, I beg your pardon, held on. Is it 5? I don't know. Did I calculate well? 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go to GRO where Obed is calling from. Obed, welcome on the show. Let's get your thoughts.
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah. Obed, welcome.
Yes, Kalada, the statement made by PFN. I think PFN needs to do more to enlighten members in need of participation, particularly in issue of selecting leaders. You understand? Yes, because we have seen that many people are uninformed to the extent that people believe that God can do everything, something that we're supposed to do. I'm not saying this that.
But God can do everything now. How do they say it again?
No.
There's nothing too hard for God to do.
God can do everything through you, not that you hold your hand.
Okay.
Not at all. The Bible says that faith without work is dead. How will you put your faith to work? If you acquire skills in a certain area, you must make move to get that job before you can get that job. That is it. That is what I expect PFN to make their members to understand. I'm not disputing angle of spirituality because myself, I'm a believer and I believe spirituality. But there are things that we need to do, particularly the current state of Nigeria today. We need many people to inform their members the importance of choosing these leaders because this thing has done us more harm than good. People believe that, I can go to church and pray and I'll get everything. No. There are some things that a government needs to do for you. That is the truth. And we must keep emphasizing. So I urge the PFN leader to ensure that the members are informed on this very area. The politics must not be left for politicians alone. Because these guys, they have indeed done us more harm than good.
All right.
So if we come together collectively, we can be able to take decisions. I'm out of here.
All right. Thank you very much for being here in the first place. Well, let's come here. This one says Aliko Dangote is cashing out big time in Tinubu's administration because his inconsiderate economic policies are tilting to his favor. I think he meant the president's economic policies are tilting in favor of Dangote. Okay. After Tinubu's administration, we will count the scores. Clinton is fresh with that one. All right. This one says, I totally agree with the PFN president. The church must be it. Okay, the church must be it right this time. I don't get that part, but you see, after all, Jesus, who is the owner of the church, is also interested in the government of any nation. That is why the Bible says the government shall be upon his shoulder. Simply goodness from Malachi. The PFN is right. It's high time every Christian rise up to the occasion. We must choose the right leaders, not sit down to watch television on election day. We must get it right this time, John from Port Harcourt. But let's not listen to Braid, who is at Agri Road. Braid, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Greetings to Mr. Batubo.
Yeah. Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, my name remains Chief Comrade. I am Braid.
All right. I am Braid. Welcome.
Yes, the PFM, for me, PFM should also see how they should be able to educate their members. Because some certain issues that popped up during elections day is being orchestrated by youth. And the church is also surrounded by youth. So they should be able to speak to the youth, have a conference for the youth, reorientate them, give them seminars, so that the youth will be a better youth of the society. And also, Dangote, for me, we Nigerians should have many Dangote. If you look at the refinery that Dangote has put in place, if that refinery does not hit the ground, I think by now we should have begun to buy fuel even up to 2,000 something. The government has told us that the government refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, has started working. If that has started working, even as I still have a doubt. Until right now, it has been shut down also. They gave us 60 days. The 60 days has not been lapsed. There is no PMS, there is no diesel, there is no ethanol, there is no aviation fuel. A lot should come out of it, but we don't see it. And we always see fuel. I don't know whether they get their fuel from the Dangote to the refinery. So the government should prove themselves to the people that their subsidy has gone. What are they doing with the subsidy money? Let them tell us. Because are they sharing the money? Up to this moment, there is no refinery foundation. There is no Muslim refinery foundation. There is no mechanized farming in the country. And where are we really moving to? Subsidy has gone. I am still suffering.
All right.
You are still suffering.
All right.
So they should be able to nip on the board.
All right.
To let the country to know that this is where we are really going.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you, Braid. Alex from Onelga. Alex, welcome. What is on your mind?
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon, Alex.
I am going straight to the PFN chairman who spoke in the morning.
Okay.
He's very much right in whatever aspect he put it. Let's take it this way. We have political leaders. We have traditional rulers. So also we have religious leaders. Most times, you hear these politicians say, pray for us. Who are those people that are going to pray for them? Are they not the ladies, the Christians, the Muslims? So why won't they participate fully? So that is why I am in total support of what the PFN chairman stated out. Thank you. Have a nice time.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. We've got Emeka from Owerri. Welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Go quickly, straight to the point, please. Emeka, can you hear me? Are you there? Hello? All right, Emeka isn't. So I will read some messages while I'm waiting for more calls to be picked. So let's come here. This one says, Aliko Dangote's call for the ban of petroleum products should not be taken serious because he wants to monopolize the system the same way he has done with the cement manufacturing. Hence, there must be competition in the petroleum sector for the ordinary man to be able to afford it. We could not get that one. And this is Dangote is trying to imprison the entire nation with his monopolistic formula. Fidelis Elemua from Chokotoiche. Now let's listen to Ida, who's calling from Inkoro. Ida, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
The IFN chairman, my brother, they should please, we have pastors, they should bring out one person, one political party to contest, so that they will go for meeting. The churches in River State, Pescosan, Catholic, and every other church should go for meeting. But they'll bring out one candidate, whatever thing that happens, we hold that person responsible. But if they bring out one candidate, if that person wins, we should know what that person will be able to do for River people or Nigeria. So the pastor should go to come there, bring out one candidate for us or for one political party. So we'll vote for that candidate. Anything that go wrong, we'll hold the pastors. Then when we try them, it's not good with them. We'll try the native doctors. God will give us one person that will take them and never say, thank you. God bless you.
I like it. That's thought. Maybe we should try the, let's listen to, pastors today, tomorrow native doctors, next tomorrow imams, and if religion doesn't work, we need to keep trying, right? We need to keep pushing. Scientists would tell you the inventions and innovations you see as a result of many experiments. Once it fails, they scrap it, they start all over again, they put it into experimentation. And, it is said about lights, or is it electricity? It was done over and over again. So what do you think about that? Let's come here. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Missed it. There's something wrong with the phone lines. I guess the rain. But let's keep trying. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Father, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Emeka from Owerri in Imo State.
Yeah, Emeka, welcome.
Canada. On the issue of Dangote, I will not be surprised. The policy has started favoring him. He has to think a big time I know at the session of government, there were kind of a double hand between him and government. But today, he's favoring him. So I don't expect less from him. But let me go into the issue of having the whole election in one day. Canada, I support that. I am support that. Why? Because one, it will give us the next cost election. Secondly, the root for it is the issue of having the presidential election first before governor. But when I talk about the political culture of Nigeria, somebody was talking about the governor being taking more money. What are they doing? They cannot just be good with it because the also get them to spend as a night. It is not like they have a lot of responsibilities. Police is being etc. If government services get the details together, why can't you have all these things to them? Cut more responsibilities for them, even more money for them. So they cannot have enough to pocket gap in the pocket. No, it will be for them. If we give them the power to share the security belong to them, they can use whatever you want to do. And you're still asking what to do with the money. The money is they will just take it to the house in April. So let them finish election, every election, under one day. All of them, if it is possible, local government election, put everything happen under one day. So the room for yes, the voted for now, then they come back to read for your own side.
All right.
So I support that. That's the next year from
All right. So based on the cost of running elections, is saying, hey, let it be done in one day. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome. What's on your mind? I'd like to hear. Yeah, greetings.
My name is Azunda, calling from Bush Merumema.
All right, Azunda, welcome. Let's get your thoughts now.
My take is on the statement of Dangote.
Okay.
Dangote.
Okay.
I think for me, it's a wake-up call for Nigerians.
Okay.
And for the petroleum dealers trying to oppose his statement. For me, I would suggest that if they can be able to put up their own refinery, I think it will be better. So we can see the difference between Dangote and their own, how it will look like. Then also for the PFM, they should also nominate someone to stand for the election and support the person. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your thoughts, Azunda. I've got limited time. I'm still taking calls, but let's not go to WhatsApp. Do I have on WhatsApp? No. So 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Do call in, and you'll be my last caller in a bit. But Belema Fibika says on Facebook, to be candid, Tinubu is a listening man. Dangote is right. And this one says, Chama Kingsley Walu, doing all the elections one day isn't realistic. It is too much. Toma Barry, that APC religious wing will spoil everything. He called the name of a church, but I'm not going to do that on the show. Thank you nonetheless. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for sharing. But this one says, if all elections are done in one day, the evil of electoral malpractice will be minimized. Fidelis Lemua from Chukotwich. And I share that thought of the evil done in one day. I mean, the evil in one day being minimized, because everybody will be focused on, making sure, what's the word again, that they protect their structure. I think structure is the word, that they protect their political structure, because everybody wants to protect his structure, right? I'm just being naughty, don't mind me. All right, that will be it, I guess. Given the situation of things, that'll be it for now. But remember, at the top of the way, and after the business update, we'll talk GMO foods, and I'll be speaking with a scientist and who has done a bit of a research, personal and private research on GMO foods, and we will be facing some of the concerns as it relates. But there's one question in my mind, and I'm wondering, we're blessed with arable lands, we're blessed with fertile lands. I mean, if you studied agricultural science in secondary schools, or in secondary school in the 90s or the 80s, you would have been told, although, it wasn't, up to date when you compare it with, other countries, but you would have been told about loamy soil and all the different types of soil and how, we're blessed, basically, with arable soils that are really fertile and could bring about good crops. I understand these days, due to bad leadership and bad everything, we are suffering from certain disasters like flooding, most especially. However, why not get it right instead of discarding our arable lands and going for genetically modified foods? We'll get all of that in a bit, but thank you nonetheless. I think I have a message I'll read before I leave because it's really interesting. It says, inflation presently is going down according to economic indices, but the governor's allocations are 300% increased. I agree, but while inflation are going down, the effects of it are still very much there. I agree with you on that one. Anyways, that's the size of the package. Thank you very much. The business update next. Just stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Information.